Moonstone Island is a monster collector, deck builder, dungeon crawler, and life sim all rolled into one. And it is fantastic. This game is a breath of fresh air that takes a unique spin on the monster collector genre while adding magic, world exploration, resource farming, and relationships. Recently, the Moonstone Island demo was released for a limited time on Steam. You could play the demo as many times as you wanted within a week, but could only play through a week of in-game time before that playthrough ended. I was so absorbed that in my first run through, it was already Friday by the time I realized my in-game week was almost up. Oh, and I should probably mention that I'm not sponsored or affiliated with this game or its creators in any way, so my views are going to be completely unbiased. Let's start at the beginning. Literally, the tutorial and setup to the story. You wake up in a field because you can't afford to pay your parents' rent and are called over by your dad. He tricks you into doing all of his work for him under the guise of teaching you how to farm because you're being evicted from the island. A spirit shows up to crash the party and your dad, the fearless hero he is, promptly gives you your mother's medallion in order to fight it off. In order to do that, you need to go inside of it because it's like a spiritual bag of holding or something, and pick up a spirit to bend to your will for all eternity. There's a sheep, dinosaur, and a bee. After you pump iron, wrong exercise. After you expel the crystal demon, your mom calls you in for a cup of tea and some of your dad's stone fruit. Something, alchemist ancestors, something. She has you pop back into your medallion, feed your spirit, and then cries. Your dad gives you some more equipment and you're yeeted out of the nest like a baby bird. Kind of literally, since you live on a floating island, which seems like it's going well until it doesn't. You crash land on another island, your items are scattered, and the broom your dad must have picked up from a knockoff Walmart, your only mode of transportation, is shattered. You run around trying to collect all your things when the death toll rings. The dark hour of 2 a.m. arrives, and since you're chronically narcoleptic, you instantly pass out without warning. When you come to, an adorable innkeeper tells you that she saw you crash, and instead of immediately coming to help you while you were still conscious, she waited for you to knock out and had someone named Quill drag you back to the inn. She gives you back your things and welcomes you to the town as their new alchemist. After you get the rest of your things back, you're free to go do whatever you please. Okay, I clearly took some liberties with the direction of the story in my honestly kind of accurate summary. But my genuine opinion on the setup to this game is that it's short, simple, and concise enough that it's able to teach you the basic mechanics and give you some background information and story without wasting your time and teaching you stuff you can figure out for yourself. I'm not sure if this will be a feature in the official release, but there was even an option in the main menu to skip the tutorial. This needs to be a more common feature in all games. The only issue here was that skipping the tutorial defaults to giving you the bee as your starter, which honestly isn't that big of a deal because all of the starting spirit trio are tameable while exploring, and also because Capacity is fucking sick. Now let's talk about the fan P in the room. I'm a Pokemon fan. I've been playing that game series since I was like 10 years old. This game is a monster collector, you battle and tame spirits. While I am personally not a fan of Pokemon's design choices that consist of office or kitchen appliances, I can't say that this game is much better in that regard. However, just like Pokemon, there are also a bunch of other designs that I genuinely like. I haven't seen any kind of evolution mechanic, so I wonder if that's even a thing, which I thought might redeem some of the spirits that I felt a little lackluster, but if not, I wouldn't be sorely disappointed either. More importantly, the battling. Oh my god. This battle system is probably my favorite way of implementing turn-based combat. Like I said, this game is also a deck builder. What I mean by that is that every spirit comes with its own mini structure deck. When you enter combat, your spirits run out on the field like it's Paper Mario, then you pull out a hand of 5 cards that are based off of the combined cards of whatever spirits are fighting. You don't just spam your opponents into submission. Each card has an energy requirement to play, which you get 3 of per turn. But you can't, or rather you shouldn't, just play whatever you want willy-nilly. Every spirit also has defense points. That defense will block that number of damage. So if that enemy spirit has 3 defense and your attack does 3 or less damage, that spirit will take no damage. You need to use specific attacks to lower that defense first, or hit over the defense with a higher attack. When a spirit's defense is brought down to 0, they're dazed, take increased damage, and can't attack their next turn. But be careful, because this can happen to your spirits too, and you also can't feed them any items to heal while they're dazed. At the end of each turn, unless you have a card that can be retained, the rest of the cards in your hand that weren't used are also discarded. You draw a fresh hand each turn. which is good because you can sometimes pull off a turn that uses all of the cards in your hand anyway, but also means you have to think and strategize your turns, because if you miss out on using a valuable card, say bye-bye, because that puppy is gone. Yes, the randomness sometimes means you can't pull off anything useful, like in a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Seriously, what am I supposed to do with this? But I cannot explain how absolutely satisfying it is to be backed against the wall and activate your Ultra Instinct 200 IQ to come back from defeat and clutch out the W. Which brings me to my next point. The battling, even against AI, is actually difficult. These motherfuckers will work together to jump a single one of your spirits in order to get a numbers advantage. They will poison you, heal themselves, and break your defenses. Even going up against spirits around your level can feel like a challenge, especially if they rock up with the boys when you don't expect it. If a spirit is weak to a certain type, not only will an attack of that type do extra damage, it'll help break down their defenses. You can check your opponents for their stats and weaknesses, but a spirit's secondary weakness can change, so check them regularly. Oh, and each spirit has its own ability, so if you don't know why something is happening, I would check up on those too. Let's talk about colonialism. So when you crash landed on this island, your broom broke, but that doesn't stop you from island hopping around the skies to expand your influence and take what's rightfully yours. The exploration in Moonstone Island is encouraged and rewarding. You can get around the early game using a balloon, but eventually you'll want to upgrade by making another broom. Each island has its own biome, which determines what kind of spirits spawn there and what resources can be gathered. There should be a minimum of 1 moonstone per island, which will help you craft your broom and other items, and other structures like dungeons, stamina springs, teleport obelisks, and relic gates can appear as well. Stamina springs will help you quickly replenish stamina spent, which is needed to cross islands and perform other daily tasks. Teleport obelisks will teleport you to another island somewhere on the map. Relic gates give you a talisman to feed your spirits, which allows you to either delete a card out of their deck, add a new card to the deck, or upgrade a card they already have. And dungeons offer puzzles, spirits to fight, chests filled with loot, and an upgrade to your stamina bar if you beat the boss. You can also find treasure maps that I guess show you where buried treasure is, but I'm pretty sure you have to dig for it, and I've never bought the reinforced hoe, which is what I'm sure you need to dig it up. That, or I'm dumb. And let's be real, it's probably the latter. But if you're a child who truly yearns for the mines, you'll really enjoy this next part of the game. That's right, the life sim. At the beginning, you're taught how to farm and give other tools like a hammer and axe. You can chop down trees, plant seeds, and break open rocks, which will sometimes reveal a hidden cave. Down here, you can find more rocks, but this time with shiny ore inside them. There's also more spirits to fight and treasure chests. But this time, I'm not going to forget to mention that the treasure chest can give you blueprints you need to craft items like a workbench or moonstone enchanter. But whether you're busy deforesting, mining, or island hopping, there's 2 things you need to keep a close eye on: the time and your stamina. 2 a.m. is the witching hour, and not going to bed before then knocks you out, drags you back to your house, and forces you to sleep until noon the next day. Your stamina is also limited, but it can be replenished with a variety of things. Just make sure it doesn't drop to 0, or else it might as well be 2 a.m. because you are getting knocked the fuck out. Aside from those 2 things, there is one other way to lose your day. Lose a fight against some spirit, and it's night-night. Going to sleep will show you what progress you've made in different areas of the game, and doing anything in a particular category will give you your own personal experience and potentially lead you to spend points on one of 6 skill trees. You can level up skills with spirits, combat, archaeology, agriculture, foraging, and socializing. That's right, socializing. Everyone in town has their role and can give you side quests, but you can also date everyone, which is great because they're all hot. All of them. In my first run, I was too busy being unconscious to flirt with anyone, but by the time I got to my 3rd attempt, I was able to go on 2 dates with Farah the Blacksmith. We scheduled a 3rd for day 9, but in a sick, twisted game of Groundhog Day, or ReZero if you're a weeb, I'd never get there before the Great Reset. You can only talk someone up 3 times a day, and gifts are limited to 1 a day and only twice a week. Each action when socializing has a % chance of working, but the better your relationship is with someone, the more likely those actions are to succeed. Those chances remain the same even if you strike out, but I don't think I've ever successfully chatted someone up after bombing the first attempt. So either your chances decrease significantly when you accidentally let it slip that you cried to an anime about fucking skateboarding.
You what?
Or I'm just really, really unlucky. Yeah, probably just a fluke. Anyway, I know I've been memeing to all hell in this video, but I genuinely had such a blast playing this game, and I cannot wait for its official release. I'm going to go ahead and throw Moonstone Island's Twitter and Steam page in the description below, because if you're still here, you're probably at least somewhat interested, and if so, you can go ahead and follow them on Twitter, or wishlist the game on Steam, or both.
Both is good.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got, so I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you later. Peace. I'm gonna fall to my death. Wait. I've skipped past 2. Oh no, never